Hey guys, welcome to another video. Welcome to another live. Let me just wait a second. I know it's afternoon with me, but I know it's morning and half our day with you. But still, I'm gonna wait a couple of seconds. Maybe we can catch up with someone. But uh, yeah, that's it. All right. Hopefully you don't have a Minecraft resolution with me. Let me just. I noticed if I don't move as much, the resolution is kind of better. But this video I want to talk to you about. Lots of you been asking me about my Basel World predictions. Well, that's a lie. Not a lot of you been asking me, but I did get a couple, one or two questions about Basel World predictions, and instead of writing long essay, like I should not. Let me just check here. I wanna see everything is all right here. If this actually works. Okay, I think it works. Okay, I think it works. All right, you can see, you can hear my annoying. Let me just check this. All right. Yeah. Well, for you who just tuned in, what you've been asking me about Basel World predictions, and uh, when a YouTuber says that, I kind of find it hard to believe, but really, I did get a couple of questions, even one email about that at edcgunner@gmail.com, and I give it a quick thought about Basel World 2019. I give it a quick thought, and honestly, I couldn't care less. This morning, I watched a quick video about the Geneva Motor Show, and there's lots of new electric cars. Basically, uh, like 80 or 90% of new cars at Geneva Motor Show were plug-in hybrids. So I think it's a good time to invest in, you know, up until a couple years ago when you get some lottery and some new money, you go and buy um, gas station and you make a chain of gas station. But now I think it's a good time to invest in those electric charging docks or whatever you call it. Anyways, I want to say about Basel World. I don't really care. I don't really care what's gonna happen in the new Basel World once it actually happens, and I'm not really sure. Maybe in 10 days from now. Of course, I will take a look what are some new offerings and releases. But when people make video about Basel World predictions and whatnot, they usually talk about Rolex. Will Rolex introduce uh, new bezel color, new color of the bezel, uh, and it's gonna be biggest hit. But I think the Rolex is not even on Basel World. They are parallel making their own show. Screw you guys. I'm going home and I'm gonna make my own show, bigger and better than yours. And I think it's actually gonna give them lots of exposure. Not like they need some, but there are a couple of things I don't care really about Basel World. And one of those things is that those new watches that come out actually out of Basel World are not available. And I'm talking about Rolex. Of course, they are not available. They are, you may get on the waiting list, and the prices are really that high that it doesn't make sense at all. I went to the AD to check out the GMT and some Daytonas, and basically the guy said there the wait list is 8 years, but I'm confident you can get them within 5 years. So yeah, that helps a lot. So whatever comes, and that's from Rolex. Maybe Rolex will introduce a new bezel color. Maybe the Coke will come out but I don't think it will be a steel coke. It will be in a precious metal, maybe white gold or something like that. And the Omega, what's gonna they come up with another side, dark side of the moon and whatnot. Hey, what's up, Christian? Uh, Let me just check. What's up? Wondering if you believe the 2019 sub will get any upgrades this year. Well, I was just talking about it, Christian. I don't really care. Uh, Even if they do, if they put a blue bezel ring, blue color of the bezel, or something like that, your best thing is that you can come on the wait list and the prices will be skyrocket, and the guys who actually get them from the 80s, they will be selling them at twice the money, and you know the deal. So who care? I couldn't care less. I like the classic black Submariner. It's a ceramic or pre-ceramic, doesn't really matter. I'm hoping that mine one will fade nicely because it's from the early 90s. So this summer I'm gonna wear it a lot on the sun. So I hope it catches some nice patina colors. But uh, the sub, in my eyes, is a pretty much perfect watch. Uh, and they should not upgrade it anywhere else. If they're gonna introduce a new movement, I couldn't care less because it's not some kind sort of a high horology. Uh, and even if you get it, there's no chance that you are being able to buy it unless you're a Ball or Christian Anne. But it's gonna be interesting after the Basel World comes out to see what's new and what's else. But I kind of grew up and learned through my life that going through the catalogs, and I don't buy lots of new stuff. And Rolex makes the new stuff even impossible to buy, whether it's prices too steep or unavailability. And it's just like the Geneva Motor Show, car show. Uh, you can look and admire all those new cars, but you really want BMW 30 or something like that. But uh, even if they get some new upgrades, which I doubt, I don't care. Maybe they put a blue bezel. But hey, imagine just if they would put a blue bezel on a Submariner instead of a Batman, half black, half blue. The entire bezel was blue. Uh, I think that lots of people would die or give their arm and leg just to have it. And I think that's not really good for a hobby. Submariner is a perfect dive watch, perfect tool watch, perfect everything watch. It was my grail, and even though I have one, if I would have an opportunity to get another one, I would get it. That's how much I like the Submariner, but I don't really care. I think ADs are dropping old stock subs. I went in last Friday and put a deposit. They called me Monday and I picked it up. Quite a surprise for me, but I think I made the right move. That's really congrats on the new sub. Uh, I do like the ceramic Submariner, but I don't mind the older one. And I think you are a bit concerned. You just got a new one, and there will be another one with the new upgrades and whatnot. But uh, I wouldn't be concerned at least. Just enjoy it and wear it, and think about the next piece. Uh, the Kermit, the Hulk, and whatever color they uh, put out, for me, it's just a gimmick. Unless I really like it and want it, and then I don't care about gimmicks and everything else. I just want that one, and that's the one I get. And but nowadays, I think that the most people who are into hobby, into collecting watches, just want the newest and the best. The watches are not like the cars, and it's kind of shallow. But what do I know? What do I know? So uh, give me a thumbs up, guys. Give me a thumbs up. I need some thumbs up. And what do you think? Do you think there will be some new Rolex? When people ask about the Basel World predictions, they think about Rolex, new Rolex, and that's uh, in a way good and in a way bad. But that's interesting to me because they came up with a cool GMT Pepsi. That's a really boss move, and they done Daytonas. I think they could do something with the digests and whatnot, but uh, honestly, I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less. So today's first watch check, I'm wearing my reverso. Before I got my reverso, wondered. I always wondered. Uh, I was telling people I will wear that reverso. I will wear the shit out of it in a shorts and jeans, in a Hawaiian shirt and whatnot. It will not leave my hands. And I was wondering how will it work on a short sleeves on a t-shirt because I'm a jeans and a t-shirt kind of guy. I do like to dress up occasionally. I like to think that I dress a bit smarter than lots of other people on the streets, but nevertheless, my favorite is a black t-shirt and a jeans. And I think the reversal works great for that, but I will definitely wear it with the shorts and I don't know. I will wear the shit out of it. I don't care if I'm gonna scratch it. It already has some scratches before I bought it, and I found this old leather band bracelet. I kind of like it, but I'm not wearing it all the time. So I think it works nice with this reverso, and it's just beautiful watch. I love it, and yeah, that's it. I don't really have anything else smart to say because I'm not that smart. I'm not that psychic, and I don't care what's gonna come out of the Basel world. I'm honestly on the new Gold Omega. I think I caught that one on Instagram. I don't have really. Let me just check new Gold Omega quickly. New Gold Omega. See how I do it. Uh, I saw a couple photos on Instagram, but I was kind of busy, so I didn't have time to read. Uh, is this the Apollo? Yeah, limited edition. I kind of don't like it, but what I find interesting is that the gold colored dial. When I first got into watches, and you find lots of vintage watches, and they have even some Seiko 5s, and they have this yellow gold color uh, dial, which is kind of too yellow for me. And I think it's interesting that it's making a comeback. I never really liked it. I wouldn't. I would think twice, even with the Datejust, which is like a perfect watch for me, except for the president. And I'm thinking I like the president a lot. Uh, but even on the Datejust, I would think twice about having a gold dial Datejust. It's kind of bit too much. I like the white, champagne, creamy, and whatnot. And this Omega, um, I would only get this Omega on the second-hand market. Uh, the price of gold, bit over the price of gold, and I would try to flip it because it's really doesn't speak to me at all, or I don't like it, or I hate it, or whatever. I dislike the word hate, but uh, not cool. Even the ceramic, old ceramic Speedmaster is kind of cooler, but nah, pass. I wouldn't be buying it. So, Jason says, Jason Amo Ako, Gold Omega, ridiculous, perfect for the muggers, perfect for the pimps, Gold Omega. Oh, for the pimps, you have um, Diamond G-Shock, um, Diamond AP, and pretty much whatever Floyd Mayweather gets, the money man. Uh, so yeah, where are you from, Jason? You have interesting other part of the Amoako. I'm sorry if I'm telling it wrong. Uh, what are the most slept on vintage watches at the moment, in your opinion? Well, vintage watches are became very popular in the recent years. So, what are the most slept on? Uh, that's a really smart question. I think I think I should call. I should give it a thought a little bit. But basically, whatever vintage watch you take, there's out there someone who's hunting it. Whether it's a vintage Seiko, whether it's a vintage Omega, or whether it's a vintage Zenith or whatnot. But I had a beautiful vintage Zenith with the Excelsior Park movement. It was column wheel chronograph and whatnot. I could not. Regret very much selling it, and I hate the vintage patina on watches. This morning, also on Facebook, someone put out Gerard Perregaux, which is I failed to see there. Uh, what's the what's the big fuss about them? Uh, I I give them their good watches. They have some merits and whatnot, but what's all the fuss about it? Uh, some of the uh, those vintage is all kicked, and everyone's going vintage, trying to be cool while we're not. But my mate recently got Universal Geneve Pro Tour with the micro rotor, and I think that's a good watch. Some of the watches that are a bit overlooked, but uh, it's not really. They are not overlooked at all. Are some of the affordable watches from Tissot. Tissot had some really nice chronographs from the 50s, and they are still quite affordable. Uh, I don't know. I'm not that smart guy. I'm just a uh, Vacheron overseas. I'm considering a Vacheron overseas for my next pickup. Have you had an experience with it? Do you think they are good value? I did not have experience with Vacheron or overseas. I do like it. Uh, are they a good value? Well, that depends. They are good value when you buy them used. Vacheron is one of those watches that I think more new wise collectors are buying Gerard Perregaux and some vintage crappy watches with messed up dials. And I'm not thinking about read dials, but with real damaged dials, and they like it more than some vintage Vacherons. And I haven't had any experience with the overseas. Uh, I would, if it was me, I would find one used in the best condition ever, with the box papers if possible. If not, the price a little bit down. But when you buy used watches, you want to find the best example possible. And I learned that from John Goldberger, the Fundinki guy, the Italian, the the king of vintage watches. And overall, if you want to learn more about vintage watches and everything else, I think you should buy some of his books. You should find online some of his interviews, and all those guys from the. But I like John Goldberger a lot, and he's a truly master, and there's a lots of interviews on YouTube with him. Even from Hodinky, and the bigger the video, the better. And that's one of the episodes of Talking Watches I can watch forever. Uh, if I'm ever in a coma, someone should point me that, because the guy is truly has a wealth of knowledge. But everything's been discovered, and everything has been um, vintage watches. I used to vintage watches used to be very cheap, like 5 or 10 years ago. And I wasn't that much into watches 10 years ago, but 5 years ago I bought a lot of vintage watches for peanuts. And nowadays, you cannot even get a crappy ones, not working ones for the same amount. So, Vacheron, Constantine, I think they are best buy used. And don't be scared to buy used. I buy all my watches used, and there's a difference uh, in buying used. There are some used watches that are in immaculate condition, and you just need to hunt and find those guys, and do not pay or retail, or do your homework and compare prices. Lots of guys been screaming at the Theo and Harris shop where he sells vintage watches, and lots of guys been hating and screaming because um, he overpriced them. He will sell them for, I don't know, some ridiculous money. But I don't have problem with that. It's a free market, and you have a product, you sell it for whatever you want. But I think there are better places you can find watches. So do your research. It's the best part of buying watches. When you actually buy watch, it's the end. It's the end. You have it, you wear it by a couple of straps, and you want to move on to the next one. And before you buy watches, that's how you learn so much about it. Whenever I want to buy a car, I do a lot of research for the issues and whatnot. And the same thing you can do a lot of research with watches. It's even easier. Watches do not have lots of issues like cars, and you can learn about different variations and everything to the detail. And then you can buy it, and you hunt. You sometimes you hunt for months, and it's part of the game. And I think that's really something. And also, do not be afraid to jump on the deal. When the good deal happens, follow your heart, and if you like the watch, if it speaks to you, uh, um, just grab it, jump on it. I would never buy this reversal if I only followed my reason. I was gonna buy Explorer too, but when I saw it, I said yes, that's the one for me, and I don't know how, but I'm buying it. What's the worst eBay sniping war you lost? The one that truly hurt you didn't win. Ow. I don't buy lots of watches on eBay because of the import duties. If I was living in America, I would rule the eBay. I would buy them all and sell them all. But most of the watches, let's be honest, I want to buy Orange Monster, and I find a killer deal, and it's in the United States, and it ships only CONUS, continental US. And so I'm not buying a lot on eBay, but sometimes I will buy will hunt a cool SKS or something like that. And because of the import fees, you have to pay taxes and VAT and customs and lots of. It doesn't worth it. It's not worth it. But once time, I got up early in the morning. It was around 5 a.m. and I got up 15 minutes later, went to the bathroom, make myself a coffee, entire ritual, and I was the high bidder. Uh, and I was the high bidder. I was the high bidder. I was the high bidder. I said I'm gonna get it because I bought a watch just like that, and no one bid on it. No one bid on it until like the 5th second before it, and I was really pissed off. In the last 5 seconds, I lost it, and it just got me. I'm not mad when I'm bidding and I'm bidding war and someone snipes me at the last second. It's alright, but this one, I got up at 5 a.m. and I was ready to waiting for those snipers, and at the last second, um, the guy just took me. Like when you go to jail and your soul slips and you are completely innocent and forgot about it, and it really hurt, and I couldn't sleep anymore after that, and I had a terrible day. So yeah, not that terrible. I hate eBay snipers. I think there's an app for that, but once because of those snipers, I overpaid for a watch. There even has there ever been a deal you passed that you regret now? Well, there's been a lots of deals that I passed and I regret now, but I do not dwell much on it. I could lately a couple of months ago, I had the opportunity to buy a Nomos Tangenti. It was in black, 38 millimeters, in-house moment. Everything was nice, and something happened in my day in my head. It just clicked. It was cheap. It was the worst thing is that it was very cheap. It was like 300 euros. I which it wasn't originally 300. It was 600 euros, and I bargained and I talked with the guy. I was having some other things on my plate, so I wasn't really in the mood to buy watches. I don't want to put my money in the watches. Maybe tomorrow I will need some cash to do something and whatnot. And I was gonna buy it, and but the last day, uh, sure I will give 300 euros for Nomos. It's a bargain, but it's over a year. But I I can haggle a lot. So, uh, and the last day, uh, I just to my bearded mate, I told him, "Hey, you can." I just told him, "Here's a cool Nomos. You wanna buy it? Here's a phone number." And he said, "Yeah, I will buy it." And he bought it. And when the watch arrived, it was so beautiful. It doesn't look like nothing in the photos. Photos were crappy, and in person, it was perfect. Little black Nomos Tangenti. And I was kind of thinking, I want the white Nomos. I don't want the black one because the white one, I don't know why. And yeah, I'm really regretting letting that one go, but I do not dwell on it ending. What happens, happens. It happened for a reason, and I think whatever happens to you, it happens for a reason. And I do not dwell on the things past. I try to look forward. What's my next step? What's my next move? So, but it was a. I learned a lot from that, and after that, I did not let go any of the watches, uh, and that's why I got this one. Our A Slenderman, what's going on? Uh, or are all Swiss automatics better than Japanese automatics? I, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know a lot about watches, but when you say all, uh, when someone says all and everything, my immediate response is no. But I don't like to generalize a lot, but there are certain Seikos, Credo Reichi, and watches that are really, again, they are not automatics. I don't know if there is any automatic, but I don't care about that. Like whatever. Uh, they're amazing. Philippe Dufour, he's a micro brand. He makes like 6 watches a year. He actually went to the Gran Seiko to Credor to collaborate and to see how they are working, and he was really impressed. Uh, and when you're speaking in a little bit of a low turn, the watches under 500 bucks, well, I think that Seiko is killing in that. And there's no really preference. Do you like Super Impreza WRX or ST or Mitsubishi Eclipse or the Supra, or do you like, uh, let's say, Nissan Skyline or BMW E30 M3? Uh, I think both of those watches have their own merits, and but the thing about Japanese automatics and automatic affordable watches is that uh, they do not charge as much as the Swiss counterparts, and on the other hand, you get a crappy bracelet from Japanese watch, and Swiss counterparts charge a bit more, and you have a Swiss watch, my friend. Oh, is that a Swiss? Oh, what a nice watch. Is that a Swiss made? Oh no, oh no, nothing. So I don't like to generalize. I like them all. I like them both. Like I even like Russian watches. I even like Skagens. Are Skagens from Denmark? I think they are. I like Skagen. Uh, and there was another Denmark brand. It was really quirky. Hey, what do you know? It's Danish. It's Danish watch. Uh, I think there's still uncertainty among the masses on the spring drive. I don't think anyone doubts its innovation, but the price tag makes people think twice. Well, I'm a bit of a peasant. I'm a bit of a peasant. I like watches. If it's gonna be some hybrid, like I said, I just saw some report from Geneva Motor Show, and most of the cars are plug-in hybrids. And I'm a bit of a peasant, and I like, if it's gonna be quartz, I want a quartz. I want to put battery in it, and it works, and it's gonna be a cheap. And if it's gonna be manual, I want to wound it, and automatic, and the spring drive. I think it's like a hybrid, and I don't know much about them. Also, Grand Seiko is the third or fourth luxury for most collectors. Well, Grand Seiko is a watch for a special type of guy. You really have to be a special type of guy, not just special type of collector. You need to be a special type of person, the personality type of guy, and even though I do like the Grand Seikos, I do not like that type of guy. And that's the type of guy. I don't think anything wrong with that, but I think that's just the type of guy when you are um, when you're buying a used watch. My reversal, it has two scratches here on this lines. It's not like a scratches, but like dots. It has one, two, three. I don't know. I didn't count, but I feel that the Grand Seiko buyer would never get this watch. He would pass because of those scratches or dots. And I feel that's the same with the Grand Seiko buyers. And quite frankly, I am peasant and I'm plebeian, but paying that much money for a Grand Seiko. I'm talking about the quartz, super quartz. It's a bit too much for me, and I would buy it used, but I do like the Grand Seiko divers. Everyone's talking about the snowflake, which is nice and everything else, but the Seiko Grand Seiko diver that kind of competes with the Submariner, that's a badass watch. That's a really badass watch, and I would, I would get that one over the Snowflakes or any other Grand Seiko watches, and I would wear it proudly. And when people would uh, ask me, "Oh, what kind of watch I wear?" and I would just say, "Oh, it's a Seiko. It's a Seiko." And that's the coolest thing about the Grand Seiko. When someone asks you about your watch, and you just say it's a Seiko, and the one who know, they know it's a Grand Seiko, and they will be they are watch guys. They are watch guys, and that's really when you see someone wearing Grand Seiko, you know it's not by a mistake. It's not by a mistake, and that's the coolest thing about Grand Seiko. I think it's fucked up. Local watchmakers can't service it. It needs to be sent out. Yeah, that's one of the things I don't like about it. I'm actually concerned about this one, but I got it serviced before. Before I bought it, the dealer had it serviced with one of the badass watchmakers in Belgrade. But I'm concerned with my reversal because it's not just a normal reversal. It's a special movement made for this one, about movement parts, and if it ever comes to it, it will have to go to the GLC. But good thing is, I think GLC is not as expensive as some other, for example, AP or something like that. So yeah, it's really cool to have a Grand Seiko and wait for that day. But imagine you get a Grand Seiko and you are waiting for that special watch enthusiast, fellow watch enthusiast, to say, "Oh, what kind of watch is it?" You say, "It's just a Seiko," and you are waiting for that one. Say, "Oh, it's a Grand Seiko. Wow, you like watches and whatnot." But it would be really sad if that would never happen. And what are the odds that it never happens? Even though I feel that today and these days the watch community and watch collectors are becoming uh, there's more of us. There's more of us, and that's what I like about it. And there's more and more people who like watches out there, and some of the big watch YouTubers are guilty of that, and I like to I like to think that I converted one or two people into watches, and I think that's really cool because look at the car guys. The car guys, uh, when you have a cool car, it doesn't have to be expensive car, but when you have a cool car, there are lots of cool. My mate has an E30 uh, BMW, the square one, and it's an M-Tech. It's not an M3, but it's really cool. And he restored it and done it. And when we are cruising through the city, you can notice a lot of people who appreciate the car and just honk or give a thumbs up and congratulate on that. And at the same time, he's wearing a Speedmaster or something on his wrist, and no one. I think just that's a little bit sad, and that's why I think the watch community is becoming. It's gonna be bigger, and there's more and more people who are into watches today than it was like 5 years ago. I strongly think that's true. But of course, who am I? And can I verify it? No. So, yeah. Uh, Gary, Gary Hickey. Gunnar, I love your content and your approach, but I'd love to see you add dedicated set. Excuse me. I'd love to see you add a dedicated set and perhaps more graphics. If you tune up the production, you'll really have an amazing show. Well, I have a crap internet. I cannot change it in this apartment because I'm not really sure how long I'm gonna stay in there, and you have to sign a contract for a year or something like that. Uh, but I would do write me an email. What do you exactly think? Some graphics and whatnot. I'm kind of old school if you are watching Cutlery Lover or guys like that, and it some graphics. I do actually have some badass editing software. I have a Sony Vegas, which I don't use because uh, it's a bit too complicated, and it's more convenient for me to use some simpler. And as regards the live shows, I just do it to hang out with you and for interaction, basically. So yeah, but I will try to step up my game. I need to buy some. I need to buy some uh, equipment. So yeah. And if you tune up the production, you'll really have an amazing show. I have an amazing show. How can you not see it? Uh, he had an SKS 09 and it was a cool interaction. I don't know why. EDC, in what language do you think about watches? I imagine most material consumed is English. I do. Uh, Long time ago, when I started to learn English, I forced myself into thinking, and I caught myself on thinking every day in every day-to-day situation, thinking in English inside. And later on, it kind of stopped, and I'm thinking in my native language. But the problem with thinking English all the time, I'll check out that nice chick or something like that. Uh, she she just passed here. Oh, nice ass. And you're thinking in English, but sometimes you need to speak with your own people, your native people, and some of them are not speaking English, and you have a hard time of being just getting normal reactions. But I definitely think about watches in English. There's a lots of things that do not have a translational equivalent in my language. For example, column wheel chronograph. I have no clue how to say that in my native language. I even done some research, tried to find some old books about watchmaking, and I still don't have a clue how to say column wheel chronograph with the vertical clutch. I can say vertical clutch, but a column wheel is the issue, and yeah. So yeah, where are you from, Gary? Hey guys, give me some thumbs up. I only have 3 thumbs ups, and that's not good. You should give me more thumbs up in all my videos. That doesn't cost you a lot, and it can help me a little bit. So if you don't have any more questions, I think it's time to move because uh, the wifey is gonna come home anytime now, and I need to I need to I need to find something to eat. So yeah, thank you, Cladwell, Idaho, USA, Idaho. Uh, I'm trying to think about the Afroman song where he has that. Uh, I met this lady in Oklahoma. I put that pussy in a coma, but I cannot remember anything from Idaho. If you know Afroman, that's old school. Well, for me it's not, but now. So see you, Slenderman, and see you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me, and see you on the next video. Tomorrow I have a road trip I'm going. It's actually I will try to do some road trip footage, but I cannot promise you will I be in the mood. So Cheers, guys. And we do turn this